Hi, and welcome back to Once Upon a Tiny Farm. My name's Drew, and today in this video I'm going to be seeding seeds in 3 different kinds of ways. One is in a regular seed tray, one is in my Winstrip tray, which mimics the soil block because of it. The tray air prunes the seedlings so that it grows a healthier root structure. And the third way is just plain soil blocks. And I'm going to be showing you all those different ways that you can start seeds. And I'm going to be kind of trialing out which way is the best, like which way grows the healthiest seedlings. And in a few days, we will do an update on how all of these seed trays are growing. Alright, so here we are, a little over a month later. These are the 3 trays that I planted. This is the Winstrip tray. I got pretty good germination in here. These trays, I have learned from the more I've planted them, just how to do to get better germination in these, is to make sure that these are the soil needs to be very moist in here, to make sure that it's not falling out of these cells, because like I said, this kind of mimics a soil block, so there's more air in here, but it's not as big as my actual soil block, so it dries out quickly. So you want to make sure that they're very moist when you're first loading the trays, which I tried to do. But then you have to keep on top of making sure they stay moist. And I actually think these trays would benefit from having a tray underneath them, so you could bottom water, like a 10-20 tray, without any holes or anything like that. I think this would do a lot better. So you could see we're doing okay. They look okay, they're alive. Not super large or anything like that. Here on this 200 cell tray, you could see I almost got perfect germination on here, but again, they're very small. They're not very big, and that is likely due to the size of these cells. They're small, and what I learned, because I used these all of last year, these were the only cells that I used for my lettuce, and when they get to a certain size, they just need to come out of the tray, because the cell is just a lot smaller, so you just have to know that. It's very convenient to have, when I was doing 25-foot rows, this 200 cell tray filled up a whole row for me, so it's very easy for crop planting. But you also have to know when they're ready to come out of the trays, they just have to come out. And over here is a clear winner. Look how much greener these plants are that were done in these soil blocks. They look fantastic. And I would have been surprised if this wasn't the healthiest looking tray, because they have 2-inch blocks here of soil, so they have a lot more growing area. They have a lot more nutrition and minerals and stuff that's in the soil block that they can draw their energy from, compared to these other trays, where it's just less soil in each cell. So these look really good. They're, I would say, twice as big as the other ones, maybe more in size. They're ready to go into the ground, actually. So maybe I will lift up one of these soil blocks and see if we could see some of the root action, and show how healthy they look as they're growing. Alright, so here is one of the blocks. You could see the roots here. They've spread out all throughout this block of soil, and that's good. That's healthy. If this were to stay in this block longer, this will keep growing. It will get larger, and it'll grow more roots. And then when this gets put into the ground, it probably won't have any shock to it. It will just reach for the other soil and continue to grow. If I were to pull out, some of these are smaller on these other trays here. I wouldn't pull out yet, but this size I would plant into the ground right now. But when you pull them out of these 200 cell trays, when they stay in there too long, you'll notice some spiraling of the roots, and it'll just take those plants a little bit longer to start growing again in the ground. So soil blocks, I kind of destroyed this block a little bit as I pulled it out. You kind of need a butter knife, I think, to break them apart, because in these trays they kind of grow together. They're very close to each other, so you have to break them apart. But yeah, I think the soil blocks are clearly the winner of this little experiment. Now down here in this tray, this is another tray of soil blocks with my Salanova lettuce. In this tray I've experimented with, instead of just doing one seed in the center of the cell, I did 4, one in each corner of this 2-inch cell. And this tray actually looks fantastic. I might pick these for transplanting at a bit of a smaller size than, you know, in the other tray of soil blocks that I just showed you, where they're a lot larger, because each of these plants will have less soil and nutrition because they're all pulling from that same block. But when I'm transplanting, I often do 4 of these plants spaced 6 inches apart from each other, so I can grab one block and then break apart the roots of each individual plant and then put them in the ground in a row across from each other. So I really like this, and the more that I do soil blocks, the more I'm convinced that this might just be the way that I need to do things in order to get the healthiest transplants into the ground. As much as I like the Winstrip tray, but this is just better. The results are clearly better. There's another one back here. The results, everything looks fantastic. So this might be the way for me. It's up to you. If you never tried soil blocks, I'm just falling in love with soil blocks with the results I'm seeing. So it's a little bit more work up front. Takes a little bit more soil to fill these trays. But in this case, like, if I'm able to get 4 starts for my lettuce in one 2-inch soil block, then it actually doesn't even take up as many trays as you would think. So I'm experimenting here. Just wanted to share things I'm trialing to give some of you guys some ideas too, if you're looking for some different ways to get better plants into your garden this year. Alright, so that's going to wrap up this video on those 3 different ways that you can start seeds. There's no right or wrong way. I think the soil blocks, from my biased point of view, are clearly the winner to get the best plant starts, but plants are going to grow in whatever you grow them in. You just, there's differences to each one, like with the plug trays. You have to know when they're ready to pull out. If they stay in the tray too long, there might be issues. When if the leaves start to yellow, that means that they're lacking in something. Maybe they just need to go and be transplanted out in the garden. So you have to stay on top of them. With the soil blocks, they can stay in the trays a little bit longer because they have more of that surface area to grow into. But anyway, that's going to wrap up this video. If you found this video helpful, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel if you're new here. We do a lot of videos like this on tips on gardening and homesteading, raising chickens, things like that. So if you're interested in any of that, give us a follow and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.